Alright, what's up you guys? I am here with the 2007 WWE Pay-Per-View DVD Collection. So let's go right into it because we have a lot here. We have 15 pay-per-views. First up we have New Year's Revolution. We have the DX poster here. The Declaration of Independence. And that's a little subtle note I've never seen before. I've never noticed that. It said that. And you have their signatures down below there. Very cool cover. But at the same time, it's kind of cheesy, but it works. Like a so bad it's good type cover. And then there's your spine. And this one did not feature the Elimination Chamber match like the others did. But we had Mickie James versus Victoria, Ric Flair versus Kenny Dykstra, Carlito and Chris Masters. We had Rated RKO versus DX. This is where Triple H got injured. And I believe he tore his quad again. And then we had John Cena versus Umaga for the WWE title. Open it up. Very cool artwork on the disc. I really like that color. And then you have a really nice insert as well. Overall, it's a very good DVD. And someone asked me why there were postcards in their DVD. Is this what you're talking about? I forget your username, but is this what you meant? Yeah, because someone asked me today, a viewer of mine, why he got postcards in his DVD. I'm assuming that's what it was, because they used to, back then, they used to give you the magazine subscriptions, which I actually subscribed to that for many years. But yeah, obviously they don't have WWE Magazine Monthly anymore. They might have the kids one though, I don't know. But here we have the Royal Rumble 2007. This is the Blockbuster exclusive. And this thing has gone for $2,000 before. I'm not joking. I don't know who would buy this for $2,000, but whatever. Power to you. And I have a couple of the Blockbuster ones you'll see. But I know a lot of people dislike this cover. I actually really like it. I love the lighting in the background, the crowd. And, you know, it is a jumbled bunch of pictures jumbled together, but that's what the Royal Rumble is, you know. It's still a cool cover. I really like it. And the backing I'm not the biggest fan of, but it still works. We had Bobby Lashley and Test for the ECW title, Batista versus Mr. Kennedy for the World Heavyweight title. Then we had a last man standing match, a very good match between John Cena and Umaga. And then here's your Blockbuster disc and your normal disc there. So, basic artwork. And the exclusives, if I can remember correctly, I believe there was a Donald Trump and Vince McMahon segment, and there was a ECW match. I think it was between RVD, Bobby Lashley, and Test, if I'm correct. I could be wrong. But overall, that's a really good Rumble. Here we have No Way Out, 2007. This is actually the insert, the cover slip for the Blockbuster, but it's not actually the Blockbuster. It's just the cover slip for it. It's just one disc. So, yeah. Unfortunately, it's not the actual one. For some reason, it came like that. I'm not complaining because it's still the cover slip. Okay, this was not the best event, but you did have a really good Cruiserweight Open. You had the tag team titles. You had, let's see, Hardys and Chris Benoit versus Eminem and MVP. You had Bobby Lashley versus Mr. Kennedy. And then you had Batista and Undertaker versus John Cena and Shawn Michaels. That's the closest thing to a current day John Cena versus Undertaker match that I will get. So, it is what it is. That's still my dream match. I know we got one in 2003 at Vengeance, but it's not good enough for me. I wanted WrestleMania 33, damn it. Okay, next up we have WrestleMania 23. This is one of those events where I love some aspects of it, but I also hate other aspects of it. Hint, hint. But these two matches down here, both phenomenal matches. You had Batista versus The Undertaker for the world title. The only thing wrong with that match was the placement on the card. And then you had John Cena and Shawn Michaels. Open it up here, we had Chris Benoit and MVP. You had the ECW Originals versus the New Breed. Your Money in the Bank match, won by Mr. Kennedy. And this one actually has a ton of extras on it, which I'm not really going to get into, just for time reasons, because there's 15 pay-per-views I have to get through here. But you get some bonus matches, you get a rematch from the event itself. You get Batista challenging The Undertaker. The rematch you get, actually, it's not from the event. It's from the No Way Out event, the rematch on Raw. Then you have your Hall of Fame with JR. We had Jerry the King Lawler, Dusty Rhodes. Pretty decent Hall of Fame class. So overall, it's a good WrestleMania, but I wouldn't say it's great, but that's just me. Here we have, I would say this is a great event. Backlash 2007, one of my favorite pay-per-view covers of all time. Beautiful cover. Camera can't do it justice. We had Batista and Undertaker in a last man standing match. You had your fatal four-way match between Edge, John Cena, Shawn Michaels, and Edge. Very good match. And then you had your handicap match with Bobby Lashley and Umaga and the McMahons. Very cool back, too. I actually really like that. Then you had Chris Benoit and MVP again. Then you had your tag team titles being defended for the first time since the Hardys won them. Show you the artwork there. Very cool. Kind of like a mosaic artwork there. But yeah, very good event. And then we go to Judgment Day 2007. Decent cover, and it's different. I like it. But once again, you have it, ECW champion Vince McMahon. That's when you know it's gonna go to shit. But it is what it is. We had Ric Flair and Carlito, CM Punk and Elijah Burke, Shawn Michaels versus Randy Orton. We had Edge versus Batista because obviously Edge cashed in on Taker after the attack from Mark Henry. Then we had John Cena versus Great Khali for the WWE title. And then we had, I believe this is Chris Benoit's final pay-per-view match against MVP, 2 out of 3 falls match. If I'm correct, that's his final one. Very cool artwork, too, the steps there. Yeah, because I don't think he was on No Way Out 07. No, he wasn't. Nope, I don't know why. Alright, I don't know if they didn't have room for him, or if he just didn't. I don't know. But this is another Blockbuster exclusive, and this one does come with the disc. And I keep all the Blockbuster stickers on, because I miss Blockbuster so much. Never a fan of this cover, and I was never actually the biggest fan of this event itself. We had World's Greatest Tag Team versus the Hardys in a ladder match. RVD in his final pay-per-view match against Randy Orton, a stretcher match. Obviously, he came back in 2013, but for this run, this is his final one. We had a steel cage match with Edge and Batista, street fight between Bobby Lashley and Mr. McMahon, Kane and Mark Henry, and probably my least favorite match type is the lumberjack match. I was never a fan of those matches. It's probably my least favorite match type, honestly. And then there's your Blockbuster exclusives. You can just read them off there. Pause it and read it. And then we had John Cena versus the Great Khali in a Falls Count Anywhere match. It actually wasn't a terrible match either. So there's your disc arts. Bonus disc. Very nice. Just did this one today. Vengeance Night of Champions. But we'll do it again. And like I said before, this is a very crowded cover. I just think it could have been toned down a little bit. There's your spine. And this was the Night of Champions gimmick as well. This is when it started. We had Ric Flair versus MVP for the U.S. title. We had Lance Cade and Trevor Murdoch versus the Hardys once again. Santino Marella versus Umaga. Melina versus Candice Michelle. We had CM Punk and Johnny Nitro, obviously. That's kind of where the famous aspect of this event comes up. Edge versus Batista, and then John Cena, Bobby Lashley, Mick Foley, Randy Orton, and King Booker in a WWE Championship challenge. I consider it more of a fatal 5-way match, but whatever floats your boat. And there's your disc art. Like I said before, why is there 2 United States title flags? That just bothers me. Alright, next up we have Great American Bash. This is also another exclusive from Blockbuster. I like the big fight feel that this pay-per-view had, and I believe this was Bobby Lashley's final pay-per-view ever for WWE. But we had I actually do like this event. We had the IC title, Umaga and Jeff Hardy, a decent match. MVP versus Matt Hardy. Very underrated feud there. Great Khali versus Kane and Batista. John Cena versus CM Punk. Dusty Rhodes versus Randy Orton, a Texas Board match. And then John Cena versus Bobby Lashley. The exclusives, you get the 20-man Battle Royal. And we just get some predictions for the event itself. For some reason, this one came with a tray, not your usual Blockbuster. I guess someone switched the case out. I'm not sure. And we have our final exclusive, SummerSlam. This is the first one I got. I used to rent this all the time. I would have been 11 at the time of this, so that should tell you my age. And yeah, I remember renting this all the time, and eventually we just bought it because I rented it so many times. I don't know why. It's not that good of an event. Shout out to WWE Rocker MCK. I know how much she just loves this event. Alright, so the bonus disc, you get WWE Idol, you get the Punjabi Celebration, then you have your Saturday night's main event tag team match. But Triple H versus King Booker, Triple H came back and buried him. Then we have Rey Mysterio versus Chavo Guerrero. And this was Booker T's final pay-per-view too. And then we had John Cena versus Randy Orton. And then Great Khali versus Batista. You know, nothing special about this event. It had a really cool set. That's about it. That's all he really had. But there you go. Close it. There we go. Unforgiven 2007. Very cool Undertaker cover there. This is when he came back and faced Mark Henry in a very disappointing match. And then you had John Cena versus Randy Orton for the second time out of like 604. Maybe more than that. Who knows? They did a lot of house shows. Alright, anyway, CM Punk versus Elijah Burke. We had the World Tag Team titles. Triple H versus Carlito. No DQ match for Carlito. And then you had your WWE Tag Team matches as well. And then you had Great Khali versus Batista versus Rey Mysterio in his first world title match back. And Batista would finally regain the title and end Great Khali's horrific reign. And there's your disc art. Very nice. A lot of these came in exclusives. I was just never able to grab them. Maybe one day. This is one of my favorite covers of all time. We have Randy Orton, him and the Dove. Very cool cover, and I actually really enjoyed this pay-per-view. I love how just the overall structure of this pay-per-view, I really liked it. Because you started out with Randy Orton versus Triple H, then you have Triple H versus Umaga, and then you get Triple H versus Randy Orton, the last man standing match. Really good. I liked it. And then you also have a Punjabi prison match between Batista and Great Khali. Like I said, I really enjoyed them. Good event. And this is the year without inserts, unfortunately. There's your disc art. Alright, next up we have Cyber Sunday 2007. Candice Michelle there. Was never a fan of this cover, honestly. I really just, I don't know. It just didn't do it for me. I do like the mouse, or the mice, though. That's a little cool. Pretty cool little tidbit there. And we have Mr. Kennedy versus Jeff Hardy. Triple H versus Umaga in a street fight. Rey Mysterio versus Finlay in a good opener stretcher match. We have the world title, Batista versus Undertaker. That's a really cheesy picture of him pointing to the title. Oh my god. Looks like a joke picture, and they actually accidentally used it because they thought he was serious. Then we have CM Punk versus The Miz. And then we have Randy Orton versus Shawn Michaels. I always thought that was an interesting way to wrap the title around you. I don't know. Here, wait. Gotta... There we go. There's your disc arts. Alright, one of my favorite events ever. Survivor Series 2007. You have Edge with the chainsaw to the ring there. Very nice. There's your spine. Very nice spine. You have great traditional Survivor Series match. You have CM Punk, John Morrison, and The Miz. Randy Orton versus Shawn Michaels again. And I believe if he wasn't allowed to use the Sweet Chin music, I believe that was the gimmick. And then we had the final TV 14 Hell in a Cell match with Batista and The Undertaker. And if you go in here, you have your disc art, and they started doing this. Alright, and finally, I believe this one was the start of the inserts, the final run of inserts. We have Armageddon 2007. I like how they have the arena there, just collapsing and everyone dying on the inside. But, the most devastating wars are fought over championship gold. Damn. And we get your similar structure to the 2008 pay-per-views. But we have MVP versus Rey Mysterio for the U.S. title. Finlay versus Great Khali. Shawn Michaels and Mr. Kennedy. Very underrated feud. And then we have CM Punk and Kane versus Big Daddy V and Mark Henry. Batista versus Edge versus The Undertaker for the world title. And then we have Randy Orton versus the returning Y2J Chris Jericho for the WWE title. And that's actually a special feature on the Survivor Series, was his return to Raw. And never mind. This one does not have the insert. No, it doesn't. Damn. I think it was No Way Out. It was the one that restarted it then. Come on. Come on. There we go. Alright, so there's your 2007 collection. This one ran a little long, but it is what it is. Gotta do it justice. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out.